Stars. Loads of people ask me that, and when I was little, I just used to gravitate towards star shapes. I was fascinated by like the planets, the moon, the stars. I used to have those little glow-in-the-dark stars on my ceiling. And then for some reason, when I was on holiday one year, I got called Star Girl, and I don't know why. And that just became a bit of a nickname. But I've always found the concept of stars incredibly interesting. Then I've always liked the look of the shape that we draw to symbolise what a star is. And then it just so happened that when I started writing, I've always put little stars as my bullet points. And I've used stars in logos of every company I've ever had. They're very lucky for some reason. And I find them everywhere. Like every project I've ever done on a property, I found a star in it somewhere. And they're very personal to me. They're my little symbol. And there was a big turning point in my life during this sort of writing process. And my favourite author, Linda Goodman, if I haven't spoken about her enough, but she lived in a place called Cripple Creek in Colorado, and it's way up in the mountains, absolutely beautiful. And I wanted to not just see where she wrote and lived, but I really wanted to almost pay my respects in writing to go and write up there. So I went there for a month, and during that time, people there were so kind when they got to know me and sort of knew that I wasn't just passing through. And I got introduced to some of her family members, people that had their cards read by her. She'd actually done their sort of zodiac readings, and it ended up me being introduced to a lovely couple that were refurbishing her old house. So they'd bought her old house years ago, and I got taken up to it, and I was walking around it, and I was like, oh, you've done such a lovely job of this, but is there anything original? And I still didn't know what I was doing. Like with this book, I thought, I've gone through phases of going, what on earth are you doing? Like, just what do you think this is ever going to do? All the doubts were creeping in. And so I'd asked for a proper sign. If I'm meant to do this, I don't just mean like finding a little shiny star. I need a proper sign here of just that I'm on the right way. Give me some encouragement. So anyway, the couple had said, look, we've given all of the old stuff to a museum. And they've taken things like there were some stained glass windows, I can't remember what else they said, but some artwork maybe. And it was all just shiny and new and beautiful. And I was just walking out, and the guy said, there's one thing that was here. He said, that's original. He said, it's only in the little bathroom. He said, do you want to go and see it? And I was like, oh yeah, I'd love to. And I said, what is it? He said, it's just the window looking out. And so I'm wondering what on earth this window could be. And I've opened the door and walked in, and it's my logo. It's literally my logo. It's a massive star. Obviously, where it's all done in glass, all the sections are split, really similar to how I've done it in the logo. And I just sort of stood there. I've got a picture of this window on my Instagram and everything, and I was like, okay, yeah, I think that's a big enough sign. I think that's a sign that I'm going to keep going. So yeah, and since then I've just well, not since then, it was way before then, but I've just always incorporated stars into what I do. I look out for them in the day, if I'm just sort of, I don't know if I've become particularly able to notice them, like I've trained myself, but I see them all the time. And sometimes on the Instagram I take pictures of them when I remember and put them up just so everyone else can see how many I do actually see. But yes, that's my summary on stars.